Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Good to see you guys again. As we had discussed in our last video that we'll discuss about phonetics. So I'm here with a new topic that you will see on the board at the back. That it's all about phonetics. So phonetics is all about what? It's the study of sound. But in language, we study about human speech sounds. But why do we study about human speech sounds only in phonetics? If you remember in our last video, we had discussed that in language, the language is only a humanoid property. And that is the reason that in phonetics, we always study about human speech sounds. So as phonetics is a study about human speech sounds, so let's talk about its branches. So there are only 3 branches of phonetics. Number 1 is articulatory phonetics. Auditory phonetics, and acoustics. Now remember that in phonetics, as we study sound, it means that we want to convey our message through voice or through sound. So in articulatory phonetics, we study about the articulators or the organs or muscles that are involved in producing the sound. And in auditory phonetics, we will study about those organs or muscles that are involved in receiving or perceiving the sound. For example, ear. And in third one is in acoustics, we study about the medium. If I produce a sound and there is listener also, then definitely we will require a medium for the sound to pass from a speaker to the listener. So coming towards the core field of phonetics, which is articulatory phonetics, and in articulatory phonetics, basically we study at how we produce the sound. Before this, I will try to tell you a concept that's voice production and breathing. Is both run parallel. Because when we breathe, when we inhale, we store the air inside of our lungs. And when we expire, we exhale. The air that comes from the lungs passes through the larynx, and at the top of the larynx, we have vocal cords or vocal folds. And these are a pair of lips in structure, which are capable of adjusting their size. And when they adjust their size, the airflow is resisted. And that resistance in the airflow is basically the cause of voice production. And after that, we have series of articulators that obstruct the airflow, and basically that obstruction is the result of and results in the production of voice. So the articulators that actively participate in the voice production are number 1, vocal cords. After that, we have pharynx, and then we have oral cavity and or nasal cavity, because either the voice will be produced through oral cavity or nasal cavity. After that, we have nasal cavity. Now, in oral cavity, we have the articulators, like we have soft palate. We have hard palate. Then we have soft palate, hard palate. Then we have alveolar ridge. Okay. And after alveolar ridge, we have teeth. After teeth, we have lips. Now, these all are included in oral cavity, and in nasal cavity, this is basically a secondary articulator. Because this soft palate, when it is lowered, the voice is produced through nasal cavity. Otherwise, the active articulators are present in oral cavity. And the other secondary articulators include jaws. So now let's talk about it, how sounds are produced. After articulators, let's discuss how sound is produced. As I already mentioned that sound is the result of disturbance of obstruction in airflow. It is only the obstruction that creates the voice or sound. Now, when we inhale, let's inhale. When we inhale, our lungs are filled or stored with air. And when we exhale, what happens is the air that we had stored in our lungs, it passes through trachea, and after trachea, it passes through larynx. After larynx, it comes the vocal folds or vocal cords. Now, when vocal folds or vocal cords that are already mentioned are the pair of lips-like structure, when they are closed, the airflow is totally obstructed, completely obstructed. But when they are mid-open, then they partially obstruct the airflow. And when they are totally open, then there is no obstruction. Now, when we produce the sound and the vocal folds are mid-open or they partially obstruct the airflow, the sound which produced would be called a voiced sound. And when we will produce the sound with open vocal folds or vocal cords, and there's no obstruction, the sound which will be produced will be called a voiceless sound. Now, how will we distinguish between the voiceless and voice sound? Because we have studied theoretically that in mid-open, there is a sound which will be produced will be a voiced, and in open, when the vocal folds will be open, the sound which will be produced will be a voiceless. There are two methods to distinguish between a voiced and voiceless sounds. Let me tell you both of the methods. Number one is either you place your fingers on your ear like this and try to produce the sound. For example, there are two sounds in which one is voiced and other is voiceless. Pa and ba sound. Now, pa is the voiceless sound, and ba is voice sound. Now again, let's do it. Place your fingers on your ears and say pa. When you say pa, you'll not hear any buzzing sound. But at the same time, when you will say ba, you will feel that there is a buzzing sound produced. That buzzing sound actually determines the buzz sound is voiced, and when the buzzing sound is not present, it means that the sound is voiceless. The next method is place your hand on the Adam's apple, which we also call the larynx. When you place your hand on this Adam's apple and try to pronounce the same word like pa and ba, when you try to pronounce these sounds, in the voice sound, you will feel a little vibration in your Adam's apple. But in the voiceless sound, you will not feel any vibration at all. So this is also a method to determine that whether your sound is voiceless or voiced. So coming back to the topic, what we were talking about, that how the sound is produced. We will at vocal folds, and after the vocal folds, there is pharynx. And the pharynx is included in both nasal and oral cavity, because this is the junction from where nasal cavity and the oral cavity both start. And after that, in oral cavity, we have uvula or soft palate, and after soft palate, we have hard palate, and after hard palate, we have alveolar ridge or teeth ridge, and after that, we have teeth, and after teeth, we have lips, and inside of the mouth, we have tongue. And that when the airflow comes from larynx, pharynx, and after that it comes through the oral cavity, and all the articulators basically participate in obstructing the airflow and production of the sound. Now we will discuss about the types of sound, because we are done with the way we produce the sound. Now let's come to the types of sound. The basic type of sounds are vowels and consonants. What are basically those vowels and consonants? Vowel is basically those sounds which are produced when the airflow from lungs till the mouth, they are not obstructed at all by any articulator. But the thing to remember is that vowels are voiced sounds. All the vowels are voice sounds. They are obstructed by the vocal folds or vocal cords, but they are not obstructed by any other articulator. But when we come toward the consonants, all the consonants are obstructed. They face resistance in the airflow in their production, whether it is puff, it is buff, it is z, sh, or j sound, sh sound. These all produce, and these all are obstructed, and this is how they are produced. But if we come towards the vowel sound, we have o sound, we have oi sound, we have ow sounds, ow sound. These all are not obstructed, either in any case. So this is the difference, basic difference between vowel and consonants. So thank you very much for watching this video. In this video, we discussed about the introduction of phonetics, and after that, we discussed about branches of phonetics. And after branches, we discussed about the vocalization or how the sound is produced. We discussed about the basic types of sounds, vowels and consonants. So thank you very much for watching this video. In our next video, we will discuss about IPA, International Phonetic Alphabets. If you have any question, do ask in the comment section.